You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. When Brian Kelly met with reporters on Monday, I asked him for an update on West Weeks. If you haven't been following what's been going on with West Weeks throughout the year, of course, that's Whit's older brother who transferred in from Virginia. And he's only played in 3 games this year. He played in the opener against USC. He played against Nichols. He was injured, missed a couple of games, came back against South Alabama, but played just 4 snaps and tapped his helmet and took himself out. His foot injury wasn't ready to roll. So he's only played in 3 games. So West could still play in another game and still maintain his red shirt. The interesting thing, though, is he has been dressed. He was dressed against Texas A&M. He was dressed against Arkansas. So he's available and dressed and apparently healthy, but he's not playing. And I asked Brian Kelly for an update on what's going on there with West, and here's what he said.
He's got games remaining. Our hope is, because he has another season of eligibility, that if we could save that season of eligibility, we would prefer to do that. We've had a conversation with the family and with West about doing that. We think he's an outstanding leader. We feel as though, as things move forward, to have a veteran presence coming back next season would be in everybody's best interest. But we've made it clear, if there's an injury and there's a need to win football games and win a championship, he's got to be ready. So it's kind of where we're at right now relative to West.
Okay. I'm going to throw out an interesting scenario, what I think is an interesting scenario anyway. So West Weeks has played in 3 games. The maximum you can play and maintain your year of eligibility is 4. So West Weeks can still play in another game for you and maintain that year. Also, remember, the NCAA passed the rule whereby you can play in the bowl game and it doesn't count against your eligibility. Remember, this became an issue with all the opt-outs. Well, there were players. Here's an infamous example. It was LSU with Garrett Nussmeier in 2021 when they went and played in the Texas Bowl against Kansas State, and Jontre Kirkland ended up playing quarterback because Nuss had played in 4 games but wanted to maintain that redshirt year. How valuable does that look now? And so he didn't play in that game against K-State, so you played Jontre Kirkland at quarterback. It was absurd. And so what the NCAA said was, okay, for bowl games, you can play and it doesn't count against your eligibility. So, you following me here? West Weeks could play in another game. Let's say, hypothetically, you're in a pinch this weekend against Alabama and you need a veteran guy to run out there and make plays for you. He can go in and still maintain his red shirt. And then take the rest of November off. And let's say you get into the playoff. All right, well, guess what? He can come back and play for you. I don't know that he plays a massive role, but the point being, you can still get, you can kind of work the system here to still get some value out of West Weeks this year and maintain that year of eligibility. So I'll remind you, when you kind of look at the linebacker position, if you get West Weeks back for 2025, that's a great benefit for 25. You're losing Greg Penn. He'll be out of eligibility. And Harold Perkins, I think we all assume, is going to go to the NFL draft. Perkins could make the decision to return. We'll see how that goes. But I think the logical understanding or logical expectation is that Perkins will go. So you'll lose Penn and Perkins. If West Weeks comes back, you'll have Witt as a junior. You'll have West as a senior. And then you'll have Xavier Atkins and Devon Keys, who both played this year as freshmen, and both have already played their over the minimum. So Xavier Atkins has already played in 5 games. Devon Keys has played in 7. Now, they've been special teams guys and backups. Atkins has played just 33 snaps. Keys has played 72 snaps. That's defense and special teams, by the way. But if you just kind of piece it together, so for next year, you'd have Witt, West, Atkins, Keys, Tylen Singleton as well, still in. That's 5. And then you've got 4 linebackers already committed in this class. You've got Charles Ross, who out of Texas, who's the number 75 overall player in the country for 2025. You've got Keelan Moses, Jaden Breaks, and CJ Jim Coyle, who's a safety in high school but projects as a linebacker at the next level. And you could always go into the portal as well if there's somebody else that you need for 2025. You felt like you wanted to supplement with a more veteran player, maybe a starting caliber kind of player. Anyway, so I understand what Brian Kelly is saying. Yeah, man, that certainly benefits you for 2025 if you get West Weeks to come back. You get depth there. The thing where I would say I got a little bit of concern is for 2024. Like this year right now, man, when you were playing Arkansas and late in the first half, when you saw Greg Penn go down and you had to run Atkins into the ball game, a true freshman on the road in the SEC, that's a little bit of like, hold your breath, man. You know, it's a key situation on the road, SEC game, and all of a sudden you're running a freshman out there who's only played a couple of dozen snaps on the season. So, best case scenario, man, Whit Weeks, Greg Penn, stay healthy. They're your bell cows, and you're able to rotate Atkins and Keys as needed. And you can preserve that year for West. Maybe you get another game out of him, bowl game, all the way to the championship, playoff, whatever it may be, and that wouldn't count against. That'd be a best case. Worst case is you got some injuries, you need West to go play, and then you lose the year of eligibility. But even if you didn't have West, your numbers are still really good. It may just force or push more urgency on a linebacker in the portal for next year if you end up losing Greg Penn, Harold Perkins, and West Weeks. The only real experienced linebacker you'd have returning would be Witt, and then what little experience Atkins and Keys get this year. So, best way to say it is best case scenario, you play really well. Maybe you use Witt for one more game because you can. Playoffs because it wouldn't count against him. That'd be awesome, and he could come back next year. If you did have to use him and lose him, you'd probably be more looking toward the portal to make sure you had someone with a little more veteran presence for 2025. So, just an update there on West Weeks and why he's been dressed but not playing. There's the plan moving forward. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.